Salut à tous, c'est Narève, on se retrouve pour la suite et la fin de nos aventures sur Baldur's Gate 3. Il est l'heure, de l'épilogue. On va voir un petit peu lors de cette fête ce que sont devenus tous nos personnages et cela conclura en beauté cette magnifique aventure qu'aura été tout au long de ces 64 épisodes Baldur's Gate 3. Mais avant toute chose et sans obligation aucune, vous pouvez commenter, liker, vous abonner à la chaîne ainsi qu'activer la petite cloche de notification qui vous préviendra dès que du nouveau contenu sera disponible. Allez, sans plus attendre, on va commencer par parler à volo. Tiens.
Don't worry, friend. I'll be sure to send your royalties by post once the manuscript's published. I'm certain I have your address around here somewhere.
Minsk.
Boo! We are not dreaming. It is our old friend. Oh, and it is good to be seen. Oh, after so many days down in the dark, Minsk began to wonder if he was some blind bug who had only dreamed himself to be large and bulksome. You will forgive the aroma, I hope. We were not expecting the Dusty One to open a portal to our very cell. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover.
Vous étiez en prison et pourquoi donc?
Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. We guard the streets, while Jaheira is occupied with harperish matters. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give them a tickle. There were harsh words, battle cries, some manner of head wound. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. Execution, says Boo, though I am not sure of the difference. It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists, no?
Laissez-moi deviner, Flétris vous a tiré de là juste à temps.
In ample time indeed. So long as the Bone Mage returns us to our cell by dawn, Boo would not be late to the bloodshed. But leave such matters for the morn. Tonight is for celebration and the telling of tales. How have you filled your days since we tore the sticky tyrant from the sky?
Je profite de la vie tout simplement, maintenant que j'ai quelqu'un avec qui la partager.
Aha, the lovebirds still nest together then? Minsk is glad. For what is life without a companion? Though I am thinking yours does not sit on your shoulders, eh? Ah, you are right, Boo. That is none of Minsk's business. There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go and greet the others. Minsk shall make himself presentable. Ah, this pond shall do nicely, Boo. Though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
Lest I lose control and slip into bear form. There you are, my friend. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
Oh, ça passe, sympathique.
You take in every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthy fragrance you can't quite recognize.
Forest trees draped in moss. Bittersweet, smoky, and that faintest hint of vanilla. A far cry from the rancid Avernus heat that's been clogging my lungs. I swear, Karlak and I have felled enough cambions to build a fortress with their horns. Who'd have thought that just one of those fiends held the key to escaping Avernus for good? One of them sported a map and some blueprints. If you want all the gory details, Karlak can fill you in. I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side. I think the splinters I made out of the last bone devil I saw speak for themselves. Not to pat myself too hard on the back, but I'm not such a bad ranger if I do say so myself. I've seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch. And he's back in his element, commanding the flaming fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's chosen primed the fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart. Well, that's enough hell talk for the moment. The night's young. You shouldn't go wasting it. Or wasting any of the wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oh, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Hells yes! You're here!
Allez, bah du coup, Carlac, on enchaîne. Hein.
Oh shit. Oh my god! He wasn't kidding. Withers, you mad bastard! You brought me back! Soldier! It's really you. I've missed you, man. Like, I've really missed you. And you're so clean. War's a dirty business, soldier. It's been exactly how you'd think. But having Will around has been incredible. Fucker's even better at killing devils than yours truly. We don't have much time to chat, but just knowing he's there makes all the difference. Oh, but hey, guess what we found? Cambion dropped a map with directions and blueprints for Zariel's own private forge. A fucking forge! Our current plan is to get in, grab a smith, and force him to fix old Rusty. Or maybe give me a brand new model that can live outside of Ernest. You haven't seen the last of old Karlak yet, soldier. Trying not to count my owlbears before they've hatched. But the thought of coming back to Baldur's Gate keeps me going. Can I look you up when I'm out? Hey, that would be kind of fun, though. High stakes hide and seek. Honestly, I'd be curious to see if you could land a blow or two. Gods, is it good to see you again. To be here together. Hard not to get used to it all over again. This won't be the last time. I promise.
Ah bah ça c'est cool si elle a trouvé une solution pour réparer son cœur. On va aller voir Gale. On va voir si c'est rabiboché avec Mistra.
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. I did offer, as a matter of fact. However, the Blackstaff insisted I couldn't teach every subject, nor could the simulacra of myself I offered to create for that purpose. So I've settled for teaching the art of illusion. Magic to confound the senses, to render the impossible into reality, and to allow expression of that most magical attribute of all, imagination. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them, or the fear of Mistra, to be more specific. I surrendered the crown of Carsus to her, as I told you I would, and in return she cured me of the orb at last. Even now I struggle to put the feelings into words. It was like exhaling for the first time after holding my breath for so very long. Of course, I haven't clarified with my students that the orb is no longer a threat. The legend of my explosive capabilities is an excellent means of controlling a classroom. Too good, if anything. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils. Still, I hoped my students might be a little more open to the playful side of such magic. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
Cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned? And I couldn't be happier for you. A fitting reward for the sacrifices you made in getting here. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'll be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you.
Eh bien, tout le plaisir serait pour moi. Oh, peut-être qu'avec Ombroker ce serait plus cool.
I don't see why not. Two heads are better than one. Unless you're dealing with an Etin. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
Eh ben, je suis bien content qu'il ait réussi à se débarrasser de l'orbe, qu'il a résolu son petit problème avec Mistra. Ça fait plaisir aussi. Hein. Il n'y avait pas Lazel normalement qui était là. Astarion, Astarion, mon petit Astarion.
Hello, darling. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. And you're looking more delicious than ever, if you don't mind me saying. Whatever you've been doing with your time, it clearly worked wonders.
Le responsable n'est autre que la vie de couple, elle me fait le plus grand bien.
Love is a powerful tonic. And where better to celebrate our good fortune? An old haunt with old friends.
Vous semblez heureux, vous avez bu?
Cheeky. I've been very well behaved, thank you. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it. Let's not get carried away, darling. I'm still me. Perhaps more me than I've ever been. I did at first, but then I realized these shadows, This darkness, it's all a part of me. I spent too long defined by what other people did to me, the choices other people made for me. But that's over now. This is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse. That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun. If the opportunity presented itself, well, I wouldn't say no. But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take on the world with. I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling.
Eh bien, Astarion, fidèle à lui-même, je vois qu'il s'en sort pas trop mal. Ah, Lazel.
Old friend. For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through limbo. But to see your face, it brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. It's nice to hear it. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure my projection. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Fey Run. Shractalor.
Ce nom me dit rien.
I wouldn't expect you to. The capital city of the Githzerai, an exiled people, once kin with mine, until the madness of civil war ripped our one sky into 2. Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to their god king Zareth Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. My blade is keen as ever, but it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm. Soon, when the comet has risen, when the Lich Queen has crumbled to dust, I miss this place. More to the point, I missed you. I'll be back one day. The Overgod himself couldn't keep me away.
Eh bien, Lazel, toujours fidèle à elle-même. Par contre, ça fait plaisir de savoir qu'elle mène de manière remarquable la rébellion. Alcine.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more. Just as I hoped they would, more like. The Oak Father has been kind to me this past while.
Yet I cannot forget the bond we all forged together. It is one that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day.
Vous avez l'air besoin d'avoir un gros, oui, vous avez l'air d'avoir besoin d'un gros câlin.
I always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place. That was more than worth the wait. That was more than worth the wait? Oh, I suppose you didn't mean that literally. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing. In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together.
Ah, ça a l'air fabuleux.
It is, truly. Though a more complex, evolving beast than I could ever have anticipated. I spoke often of balance before. Only now do I realize the balance is no simple, fixed thing. We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but it is a thrilling sort of chaos. It thrives in ways I could never have dreamed of. You are welcome whenever you like, and for however long you please. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie, I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see, my charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin, another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake. I am all ears, though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image. You have kept yourself busy. I expected no less, in truth. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you wish to retell of your exploits in person, well, I shall not object to a night off. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else.
Parlez-moi de Taniel et Olivier, les voyez-vous souvent?
Quite often. They come and go as they please, but with so many playmates to avail of, they are far from strangers. They ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all around me. But more importantly, I see it in their faces whenever they visit. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods as far as I'm concerned. As did I, but somehow I feel like I no longer need to roam. That I have found something worthy laying roots for. Amazing what can be discovered about oneself. even at a ripe old age.
Et le bosquet, vous êtes toujours en contact?
On occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Francesca of the High Forest is Archdruid now, and by all accounts, she has proven to be a steady and wise influence. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence. I spend half my days in ursine form. The children demand it. I had a score of them taking turns riding upon my back just days ago. I'm glad they are so comfortable with the Oakfather's creations. But they must learn that not all are as amiable as I am. A lesson for another time, though. They deserve some joy. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit. Perhaps because I have found where I am meant to be. Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company. Just a token to remember me by. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on. Enjoy the festivities. We can speak again later.
Ah. Franchement, c'est bon de savoir qu'ils ont reconstruit toute une communauté à Haute Lune, que les deux gamins vont bien, ça aussi. Hein. Ensuite, on va aller parler à Jaira.
Well now, you can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. I'm glad the months have not been wasted. Particularly as I spent them cleaning up the mess we made of the city. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers. Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon. Same cisterns overflowing. Huh. The upper city has been almost entirely rebuilt. That's where the gold is. Even the builder's scaffolds are cleared from the streets. No dust left to sneeze at. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three, but nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two, if they don't expel her. Again. Ah, yes. Forgive me. There wasn't much time to offer hospitality with an elder brain looming over the city. They ask about you, of course. But I keep them a little too busy for stories. There is still much to do. People to house. A Harper network to rebuild. I may have little love for this city. But so long as my family chooses to serve it, I can do no less. For all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. whatever that means to you. Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
Et bien voilà qui est surprenant. Jaira a 2 enfants. Ambroker, on avait dit ce serait pour la fin. Il nous manque qui? Minsk, c'est fait. Karlak aussi. On peut discuter avec le barde.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. I find it hard to summon up the trademark pep these days. You have no idea who I am, do you? I thought Withers might have set the stage a little. I owe him a favor, one he is eternally invoking. I thought honoring the worthy was a fair price to pay for Withers to pull me out of the fugue plane. Alas, one purgatory to another. Languishing in obscurity. Cyric knew what he was doing when he punished me for that song, the prick. Before I was banished to the fugue plane, I had song prayers coming out the proverbial ears. Guess how many I get now? None. I'm washed up, I'm afraid. Go on then. What should I play? Fine. It's your party after all.
Ouais, c'est sûrement une ancienne divinité. Lazel, c'est fait, c'est fait. Flétris lui-même. Mettre fin à l'aventure. Non, pas tout de suite. On va quand même aller parler à Ambroker.
Didn't expect to be nervous, but seeing everyone here like this, it's strange, isn't it? I feel like I must have dreamed the last few months. Now I'm waking up back in camp with my hair smelling like wood smoke and fallen leaves stuck to my backside. A little wine might help accelerate the process. I hope we won't seem terribly boring to everyone when they ask what we've been doing this past while. A cottage in the countryside. They may have been expecting something more. Well, more. Me neither. It's just like I dreamed of. A little house to call our own. Teeming with animals, the flowers we sowed starting to bloom. And you there, at my side. You look good, with your sleeves rolled up, working in the garden. I had to remind myself I was there to transplant the red cabbages and not just enjoy the view. It's fine. Already passed. Shal must have sensed I was enjoying myself. She'd probably break out in hives. But enough about Shah and her petty barbs. We're here to see old friends and enjoy ourselves. So let's do just that. Why, I feel better already. Are you trying to make me sleepy? You know how easily I get lost in your arms. Have fun. Just don't wear yourself out too quickly. I'm anticipating a long night ahead of us.
Ok, je pense qu'on a parlé à tout le monde. Donc du coup, eh bien on va aller voir ce qui nous manque. Flétrisse. Ah non, il nous manque Flétrisse. Ça va sûrement être lui qui met fin aux choses. L'armée de Torm dispersée. Le nouveau maître de la tour de Ramazith. Fin de carrière, la grande ménestrelle disparaît sans laisser de traces. Le seigneur de pierre tué par le rôdeur bien-aimé. Gâteau aux amandes d'Avernus. Tiens donc. Les derniers cultistes chassés à leur tour du temple de Baal. Ah bah oui. Le guide de Volotemp Guédarme pour la porte de Baldur. Le barde recherche des contributeurs pour sa nouvelle édition. 6 mois déjà que l'archiduc Gortash a été assassiné. Oh. Nouvelle école de barde fondée par une Tiflaine, financement de la ville haute. Ça c'est cool. Très très cool. Ah, Dame Janat, on n'a pas fait cette quête-là, là, malheureusement. Garde Corbeau a retrouvé toutes ses facultés. Merveilleux. Les Gondiens se dispersent, expliquant que le temps de Gonde est révolu. Le tueur en série démasqué, un cultiste démon de Baal. Ah oui, ça c'est nous qui l'avions fait. Le meurtre de la servante des vagues enfin résolu. Voilà, encore une quête menée à bien. Coffre des mots de reconnaissance. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a dedans? Lettre officielle de la guilde. Lettre d'art. Lettre de Valéria. Ouh là là, ouais. On va peut-être pas tout lire parce qu'il y en a beaucoup de remerciements quand même. Hein. On va plutôt se diriger par ici, voir ce qu'il y a. Ah, c'est bien Flétrisse. Ça, c'était le cercueil dans lequel on l'avait trouvé. Parchemin de désintégration, cercle... Oh là là. Il y a plein de choses intéressantes ici. Hein.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
Satisfait, j'ai accompli tout ce que je souhaitais réaliser.
I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much.
J'imagine qu'il est temps pour moi de retourner voir les autres. Tiens donc, tiens donc.
Yes.
Eh bien, j'ai passé suffisamment de temps avec mes amis et maintenant.
What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you.
Et c'est la fin. Le point final à cette magnifique aventure qu'aura été Baldur's Gate 3. Du coup, comme d'habitude, on va laisser le générique jusqu'à son terme.
darling, get me drunk and make me feel it's not my fault, I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins, I broke my chains. There's more to do and I still want to live.
I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death.
Cold as death.
I feel your heart beat in my soul, our futures bound, our bodies know. Your blood like wine, I want it in. Oh darling, get me drunk, invite me. It's not my fault, I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins, I broke my chains. There's more to do if I can only leave. I can't go yet, don't let me die. I'll never stop until I'm done. But just tonight, maybe I'll rest in peace. I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death. I hear your heart beat in my soul, our endings bound, our bodies know. I can't go yet,
Don't let me die,
I want to live.
my only one. There's more to do if we can only live. The clock won't stop and this is what we get. darling, get me drunk and make me feel it's not my fault. I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins. I broke my chains. There's more to do, and I still want to live.
I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death.
Cold as death.
I feel your heartbeat in my soul. Our futures bound, our bodies know. Your blood like wine, I want it in. Oh, darling, get me drunk, invite me. It's not my fault, I'm not to blame. These ain't my sins, I broke my chains. There's more to do if I can only leave. I can't go yet, don't let me die. I'll never stop until I'm done. But just tonight, maybe I'll rest in peace. I feel your breath upon my neck, a soft caress as cold as death. I hear your heartbeat in my soul. Our endings bound, our bodies know. I can't go yet,
Don't let me die.
I want to live.
My only one. There's more to do if we can only live. The clock won't stop, and this is what we get.
thou art the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools, everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel, felled by mortals. I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.
Ah, très très cool la petite vidéo de fin de générique. Donc on peut penser qu'en fait Flétris c'était un des dieux de la mort avant les trois. Je sais plus comment il s'appelle d'ailleurs. Si vous le savez, n'hésitez pas à me le dire dans les commentaires. Si vous êtes arrivé jusque là. Dans tous les cas, il va être temps de se quitter après cette merveilleuse aventure qu'a été Baldur's Gate 3. Je vous remercie énormément de m'avoir suivi tout au long de cette aventure. Voilà, au risque de me répéter, c'est la fin de cette magnifique aventure qu'a été Baldur's Gate 3. Je vous remercie encore une fois de m'avoir suivi du début jusqu'à la fin. N'hésitez pas à me faire vos retours au travers du clap, commenter, liker, vous abonner et partager. Surtout n'oubliez pas de partager car vous le savez, le partage c'est la vie. Allez, ciao, bye bye.